Giants right tackle Cameron Fleming. Cam, thanks for the time today. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, Cam, let's start here. What was it like this week in the building on a Victory Monday, first of the year, coming off your first win in the division against Washington on Sunday?
It was definitely exciting to get our first win. I mean, it's been a long time coming, and we're definitely happy to celebrate it. But with this short week coming on, we didn't get to celebrate it for too long before we turned around and started to focus on the Eagles.
Yeah, and we'll get to the Eagles in a little bit, Cam. But I want to talk about you a little bit first. This is the first time heading into a season you were the full-time starter at one of the offensive line spots. What has that experience been like for you so far this season? Has it been exciting?
Definitely, yes. It's been exciting. I enjoy it a ton. I'm just glad to be out there helping our team do what we do.
Now, for the offensive line as a group, where do you think you guys are right now in terms of getting that continuity and that chemistry that I know takes so many reps to get, especially in a year where you guys really couldn't work out in person until August?
I think it's a fluid thing. I think we're working to get better every day, just like every other offensive line in the league is. But I think we're making big progress every game, and hopefully we just keep heading that way.
Is that a feel thing? Is it a technique thing, learning the system together? What are some of the aspects that kind of come together to allow you guys to build that chemistry together?
I've said it before. I'm not a big believer in chemistry. I think it's more of a everybody just getting into the offense, knowing the nuances and stuff like that. Like this is a brand new offense, and I think we just need more reps in the technique and all the other things that go along with it. And I think as we get that from week to week, we'll continue to get better.
How about Mark Colombo? He's somebody that you were coached down there in Dallas. He's up here in New York. How has it been, working with him and him working with the rest of your offensive line group?
Coach Colombo is always a joy to work with. He's extremely knowledgeable and extremely passionate about what he does, and he's a great teacher. And I think he works well with us to get us all ready for a game each and every week.
Is there anything different about the type of technique and just the style of offensive line play that he teaches and you guys did in Dallas that maybe some of the guys are doing here and you had previously up in New England?
I mean, I can't speak for the guys up in here because I wasn't here with their techniques and stuff like that. But I would assume that all offensive line play is generally the same. I mean, you focus on different things depending on how the scheme works. But I mean, definitely offensive line is offensive line. It's all about keeping your feet in the ground and holding your ground and using your hands and whatnot.
Yeah, and you're talking about fundamentals. So let me ask about that. What are some of the key fundamentals that Mark Colombo really does focus on with you guys? You mentioned the feet. I talked to Andrew Thomas last week. He talked about hitting his landmark on his drops. What are some of the big focuses that he has with you guys from a fundamental perspective week in, week out?
I think he focuses a lot on making sure that we stay on the feet, so that we're not falling on the ground and whatnot, so we can stick on our blocks and stuff like that. And then just using our hands, especially in pass pro, just hand use.
It seems like that you guys are getting into a real comfort zone, using a lot of gap scheme stuff in the run game, doing pulling guards, pulling tight ends, a little less zone stuff. Without talking specifically about what you're doing, as a group, is that a scheme in terms of power and gap and stuff like that you think your group is getting more and more comfortable with as this season has gone along?
I think it's just going back to what I said earlier, that we're just getting more comfortable with the offense and the techniques and the things that we need to do and executing on a week-to-week basis.
What are some of the things, Cam, that you think the group does need to continue to work on in order to continue to take that next step, especially in pass protection?
I mean, we just need to we always need to be better in pass protection. I think there's never a ceiling you can hit in pass protection. I think just getting better every week, and I mean that's the most important thing in today's NFL is keeping people off the quarterback, and in the run game just gaining more yards, moving people. I mean it's the very most basic things of offensive line play that we need to get better at. I mean, just like every other squad does.
Cam, we obviously preview your games every week here on Giants.com, and First it's T.J. Watt, then, here comes here comes the Rams, here comes Eric Armstead and the 49ers, here comes Aaron Donald, then you have Alden Smith and DeMarcus Lawrence, then you have Chase Young and Montez Sweat last week. Oh, by the way, here comes one of the best pass rushing groups in the NFL and the Eagles, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. Have you just kind of looked at these matchups each week and been like, boy, this is really one of the toughest continuous gauntlets of advanced pass rushing teams that I've had to go up against?
I think we all knew what we were getting into when we get in the NFL. I mean, it's the best of the best, and you got to expect to play the best every week.
Giant fans get a New York Giants checking account from Investors Bank with a Giants-branded debit card, security features, and discounts at the Giants online shop. You can earn up to $250 when you open an account at investorsbank.com/Giants. Member FDIC. We're joined by Cameron Fleming. Let's talk about the Eagles then. You mentioned the short week. As a player, as someone who has to be physical on the field, with that short turnaround, how does that impact your preparation in terms of being ready to go on Thursday night?
I don't think it does at all. I mean, I think we have to be a little bit more focused, a little bit quicker, but I think we'll be just as ready for this game as we are for any other.
Is this a matter of trying to squeeze in some more of those mental reps and some more study just into a smaller number of days?
I think, I guess you could put it like that. I think everybody has their process to prepare for a game, and just with the couple of days cut out, it's a little bit accelerated.
You're obviously someone that has a lot of familiarity playing the Philadelphia Eagles, given your time down there in Dallas. Let's talk about how they set up their defensive line first before we talk about the individuals on that group. Jim Schwartz, you talk about the wide nine. They do a lot of one-on-one. They try to set those one-on-ones up. What makes that Eagle defensive line as a group, especially schematically, so difficult to deal with?
I think it's the talent up front that they have. I mean, they have excellent pass rushers and Bennett and Sweat and Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox and Malik Jackson and so on and so forth. I mean, they have their front is very stacked. I think they have a lot of talented rushers, and they're able to all create pressure. So I mean, I think that's what makes them hard to deal with.
How do you get ready for a game like this? Do you study individually each one of those edge guys that they will throw out there? They have about 4 of them that they use a lot over the course of the game, or is it more of a looking at their scheme and how they deploy them in the general structure of the defense?
I mean, I like to prepare myself for whoever I'm going against or whoever I might see across from me. So definitely, I study them individually, and then obviously we study them as a scheme together.
As a group, even going beyond the offensive line, Cam, and offense in general, what are some of the keys against this type of Jim Schwartz defense that the offense has to execute this week in order to have success down there?
I mean, I can't speak for the whole offense. I'm a little one-track minded when I'm talking about the O-line. Like, we've got to be productive in the run game as an O-line. We've got to protect Daniel back there, and I think I trust that everything else will just work out if we do those two things.
I don't blame you. If I was staring at Brandon Graham, I'd be, one-track mind worrying about him too. I don't blame you, Cam. Finally, last week you guys had a chance to play, or 2 weeks ago you had a chance to play in front of a crowd down there in Dallas. You will have a chance again this week in Philadelphia. Do you get a little bit more adrenaline when you get out there in front of a hostile crowd as opposed to some of the empty stadiums you've played in so far this year?
Honestly, I thought I would, but I mean, there's definitely a little bit more pregame hype. But as soon as that whistle blows and you're on the field, it doesn't matter who's watching. I mean, you're so hyper focused and locked in on your job at that moment that it doesn't really matter.
Well, Cam, we appreciate it. Final question, I guess I'm going to ask you: do you guys pay attention at all to the standings and see, well, if we can win this game this week, we have a chance to be tied for first? Does that even cross your mind, or is it just really one track, deal with the opponent coming up, and just go from there?
I think we all know that if we focus on each game as a 1-0 game and we go undefeated in all those 1-0s, we'll win the division. So we're not really worried about much else.
Great approach, Cam. Good stuff, my friend. I appreciate the time. Best of luck against the Eagles.
All right, thank you.